Hey guys, I'm always getting asked the question, what is the best starter camera for people interested in 35mm, 120, just any kind of analog photography? I get asked this question a lot, and it's a pretty good question. The best starter camera is the camera that you have. A lot of people already have 35mm cameras in their house, but don't know about it because they're not getting used. First, I would ask a parent, grandparent, relative, anybody, if they have a 35mm or 120mm camera that they're just not using, or maybe that they've forgotten about. I've had so many people give me old film cameras because they just don't use them. It's sad, but I've gotten some pretty cool cameras, so I'm not going to complain. Let's say none of your family or friends has an old film camera. It's possible. So, what's the next thing to do? Next step is check eBay. I'm serious, there are a ton of cameras on eBay. If you don't want to do it online, go to your local thrift store, antique shop, something like that, because they're basically the in-person eBay. Also check out yard sales and flea markets. They're excellent places to get really cheap cameras. Now you might be asking, why would I want a cheap camera? Well, first of all, they're pretty great to introduce you to film photography, learn how to use the cameras, that type of thing. They take some pretty cool pictures. The cheaper the camera, usually the more interesting the results you can get. I got this little camera on eBay for like $7, I think. They range anywhere from $7 to $15, and they are pure plastic, basically not worth what they cost, but they take a pretty cool picture. It's literally a basic plastic camera that takes film. Nothing more. They have a housing that they come in to where you can use them underwater, but I've never done that. I just took it out of the housing and use it like this. These are called the Lomo Aquapix cameras, and if you do a Google search or eBay search for Lomo Aquapix, you're bound to find these things. And they come in a ton of different colors. The reason that I recommend getting a really cheap camera to start out with is because a lot of people don't have a ton of money to go out and spend on a camera that they don't even know if they're gonna like the way it feels, the way it shoots, that type of thing. But once you start using just a cheap little plastic camera, it becomes a conduit and it really gets you into all these different ways of shooting film. And yeah, I don't doubt that you're going to upgrade, but the question that I get asked a lot is, what's a good starter 35mm camera if you're on a budget? Because a lot of people, like I said, don't want to spend a fortune for something they don't even know if they're going to like yet. I love film photography, and it's my belief that the entire world should love film photography, but not everyone does. So I do recommend getting a cheap little plastic camera. Doesn't matter what kind. They're all over the place if you just look for them. And who knows, you might even find that these little cameras become your favorite. It's all a matter of personal preference. It just depends on the photographer, and it just depends on the camera. But if you're looking to start out in film photography, don't hesitate to pick one of these up or to just get something cheap and play around with. And I guarantee it won't stop there. Before you know it, you'll be living the analog life and shooting film photography like a pro.